So after talking to Hake, he reminded me of a couple of scriptures in the Bible that explains why some people don't last. And so I want him to read it for us. Ask him if he's coming out here or not. I want James to read this to you. It's deep, but relax. And you're going to understand why it doesn't, and there is nothing new under the sun. Ever since human beings been on earth, this has been happening. And that's why God said only a few will find that straight and narrow path. Only a few, a handful. Most people are going to go by the wayside. You want to come here and do it, or?
Sure. You ready for me to read the whole thing?
Yeah. That's James Hake, for those who don't know.
Everybody.
He has the hate report on the show there.
Okay.
A smart white man.
This is from
James.
Matthew.
There go Holly.
Hey.
Have you seen him since he lost so much weight?
I don't even really notice the difference.
Really? He still look fat to you?
He's always perfect to me.
I'm sorry?
He was always perfect to me.
Ooh. Always perfect. We have some fat, unless you like fat. But no, I'm saying.
All right, this is from Matthew 13. It's verses 1 through 23. The same day that Jesus went out of the house, he sat by the seaside, and great multitudes were gathered together unto him. So he went into a ship and sat, and the whole multitude stood on the shore. And he spake many things unto them in parables, saying, Behold, a sower went forth to sow. And when he sowed, some seeds fell by the wayside, and the fowls came and devoured them up. Some fell upon stony places, where they had not much earth, and forthwith they had sprung up because they had no deepness of earth. And when the sun was up, they were scorched, and because they had no root, they withered away. And some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprung up and choked them. But others fell on to good ground, and brought forth fruit, some 100-fold, some 60-fold, some 30-fold. Who hath ears to hear, let him hear. And the disciples came and said to him, Why speakest thou unto them in parables? He answered and said unto them, Because it was given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it is not given. For whosoever has, to him shall be given, and he shall have more abundance. But whoever has not, from him shall be taken away even what he has. Therefore I speak to them in parables, because they seeing not, and hearing, but because they seeing, they see not, and hearing, they hear not, neither do they understand. And in them is fulfilled the prophecy of Isaiah, which said, By hearing you shall hear, and shall not understand, and seeing you shall see, and shall not perceive. For this people's heart is waxed gross, and their ears are dull of hearing, and their eyes they have closed, lest at any time they should see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and should understand with their heart, and should be converted, and I should heal them. But blessed are your eyes, for they see, and your ears, for they hear. For verily I say unto you, many prophets and righteous men have desired to see the things which you see, and have not seen them, and to hear the things which you hear, and have not heard them. Hear you therefore the parable of the sower. When anyone hears the word of the kingdom, and understands it not, then comes the wicked man, the wicked one, and catches away that which was sown into his heart. And this is he who received the seed by the wayside. But he who received the seed unto the stony places, the same is he who hears the word, and with joy receives it. Yet he has no root in himself. He has no root in himself, but he lasts for a while. But when tribulation or persecution arises because of the word, by and by he is offended. And he also received seed. He is also who received seed among the thorns, is he who hears the word, and the cares of this world and the deceitfulness of riches choke the word, and he becomes unfruitful. But he who receives the seed unto good ground is he who hears the word and understands it, He also bears fruit and brings forth some 100-fold, some 60, and some 30.
Amazing. And so, James, come here. I heard your stomach growl. That was your stomach? Are you hungry or drunk? And so, what does all that mean to you?
To me, that means that a lot of times I've seen people come and go at church. I've seen it in me where I am thinking about the things of God. That's what brought me here, or wanting to anyway. And then sometimes I get carried away with work or stress or pride or whatever. I've seen people get really excited and they're like all on board. And then after a while they just get upset and start thinking that, oh, some of you guys are thinking of me something weird or talking about me when they're talking about them. They're guilty of what they're. And I've seen it all. I know that you've seen it all. Jesse has. And just watch yourself. It's what.
Yeah.
Because it's so relatable, all these different things.
It's mind-blowing. I've thought of incidents. I know of a white guy that used to come here. He had like a little podcast thing, and he would come here pretending that he was really interested in the message. He would have this big fake smile and would say all the right thing. But what he was doing is gathering people to interview on his podcast. And while he was doing that, he was downing me. And so the people that heard the message, some of them had moved out, they had their own place, but they heard it and they believed him and they fell away. And they didn't know that Satan was seducing them. And so I asked the guy, why do you come here? He had been coming for a while, and then when I started hearing about that, I asked him, what's your purpose of coming here? And he had a fake grin. I haven't seen him since. He stopped coming. And I could say, he said, who is it? Your wife should be asking that, not you. What the? And I've seen it where if I agree with people, they like me. But if I have to correct them, it's over. They get mad and they're gone. But I didn't really understand. I used to think, how can you be of love and now you're offended? How can you be of love? Because they say all the right things. You know what I'm saying? But what I realized is that the seed didn't grow. Seed had people in the wing, and so they don't really grow. And so I was thinking about when I was born again of God, I'm trying to be honest here, I don't ever remember going back to anger or falling for the lie from other people. Because I was able to see. The one thing about salvation is you're able to see. And you don't know that you can't see until you're able to see. And once you're able to see, you cannot not see. That's what salvation is. One of the things. It changes the heart. It wakes you up. Because God loves us, so he gives us his nature. And we got to function in the earth, right? And so he allows you to see so that you can deal with the devil as you are going through the earth with family members, with so-called friends, and all that kind of stuff. And you're just overcoming. You overcome the desire to seduce. You overcome the desire to use people. You can't be angry because you see that they can't help it. You understand now the spiritual battle. You overcome, he renews your mind when you're in the world but not of it. So if somebody said, you know what, you can't tell the truth because if you do, I'm going to take your job. It doesn't matter. Because God renew your mind so the things of the world is not that important anymore. You can't renew your own mind. He will do it for you, and he will also take care of you. So the reason that people come and go because the seed in most people are not planted. It's on dry land. It's on this. And I want you to know that because when you're taking things personally, when you're gossiping, when you have doubt, something ain't right. The lights are on, but ain't nobody home, right? So stay with the prayer and just take the pain of it, and God will guide you. But that's what's going on. And it's been going on since mankind. When God said only a few will find that straight and narrow path, that's the truth. It really is. I even know people who are intellectual Bible thumpers, right? And then they'll wake up, at least I thought they'd wake up, and I guess they did, and they'll say, oh yeah, I used to be a Bible thumper. I'm no longer a Bible thumper, right? And then they get mad at somebody in the congregation or at me. They go back to Bible thumping. I'm like, what the? But Satan is busy. Only a few people will wake up, truly be born of God. Really. And it's easy to fake it without it being real. But God's not going to play with you on it. You just suffer and fall back into darkness. That's why you have to live your life. Don't compare yourself to anyone. Don't try to be like anyone and wish everybody well. If someone give you an amazing testimony, don't think, oh, I want to be that way, or I'm not like that. Don't do it. Just wish them well, because they could be lying. And here you all want to be like them, and you'll fall into darkness as well.